Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome back to another Should You Pull video. I feel like this is what I've been doing a lot lately, and hopefully you guys are enjoying these videos that are coming out one by one and maybe even twice a day sometimes. I'm trying really hard to actually get these out on time, and unfortunately most of them are really late. I do apologize. But this video we're going to be concentrating on Barrett's Lost Chapter banner, which includes his EX and Tifa's EX, and both of those EX weapons are going to be realizable or EX plussed. And the third wheel is going to be Maria. So without further ado, let's start this video because we have to cover both of their reworks as well in this video. Now let's start this off with a returning EX, which is Tifa's EX, which is something that I really want, but so far it's been elusive for my account. But anyway, this is the motor drive weapon, and will give Tifa the EX ability Dolphin Blow. Dolphin Blow is a 2-hit melee Brave plus HP attack. Now the stolen Brave can overflow up to 150% and also will initiate the chase sequence and will grant Tifa the Fever Time unique, well, not unique, I guess frame buff for 3 turns. This also extends the duration of her Max Brave up and the Zangan Way by 3 turns. This also turns her Brave attack to its plus variant while Fever Time is active. It will be a 3-hit melee Brave attack. Fever Time, the frame buff will raise her critical hit rate and her critical Brave damage. This has a normal recast speed, and at 1 out of 3 limit break, this will slightly raise the Brave damage dealt with Dolphin Blow, and 2 out of 3 extends the duration of Fever Time by 3 more turns, and at 3 out of 3 this will slightly increase the recast speed of Dolphin Blow. Now let's take a look at the plus variant of Motor Drive. Now this will obviously improve the EX ability Dolphin Blow at 0 out of 3 limit break when you're using Dolphin Blow or Dolphin Blow combo. This increases the number of Brave hits by 2. It will increase the total Brave potency and will increase the max Brave overflow limit of Dolphin Blow. At 1 out of 3 limit break, this will moderately raise Tifa's max Brave and slightly increasing her attack as well. And now while Fever Time is active, both her Brave attack and HP attack and both their plus variants will turn into their plus variant. So the Brave attack plus will raise her Brave based on her attack before she will do the Brave hits, and the HP attack plus will raise her Brave based on her attack once again before dealing any melee Brave plus HP attack, and the stolen Brave can overflow up to 120% of her max Brave. At 2 out of 3, when the quest starts, she will start off with the Fever Time buff for 6 turns, and at 3 out of 3, this will turn Dolphin Blow into Dolphin Blow combo, which triggers the following effects before the initial attack. She will raise her Brave based on her attack before triggering a 3-hit melee Brave plus HP attack. The stolen Brave will now overflow up to 200% of her max Brave and will convert 50% of the HP damage dealt into Brave. This will also delay the target by 1 turn. Now the bonus sphere that you're going to be getting here is critical attack long. This is when dealing a critical hit, this will raise your attack or the character's attack by 10% for 6 turns. Now let's take a quick look at Tifa's rework, because they've given Tifa quite a bit. Let's start off with the Beat Rush, which is her first ability. This will now trigger an HP attack after use, so there's no HP threshold that you have to meet before it does that. This will now have a low action delay. When breaking a target or attacking a broken target, this will turn Beat Rush into Beat Rush Plus. This will slightly raise the Brave gain based on attack and slightly raise the Brave potency as well. And the Stolen Brave can now overflow up to 180% of her max Brave. This will revert Beat Rush after use unless she's breaking the target or attacking a broken target. Now let's take a look at her second ability, Battle Cry. This now extends the duration of the buffs granted by 6 turns instead of the 2 turns that we currently have. This also does not increase the turn count anymore, however it does still decrease the friend support and summon action count. Now while Zangan Wei is active, her HP attack will turn into HP attack plus, which is a melee brave plus HP attack. So what do I think of Tifa after her rework and of course the EX Plus? Now in all honesty, I'm a little, just a tiny bit disappointed with her EX Plus. Not because it adds longevity and all that, you know. It's just that when the quest starts at 2 out of 3 limit break, you actually only get the fever time buff. I was hoping that she would actually get the Zangan Wei buff at the same time, so you don't actually have to use Battle Cry. Not that it uses a turn count anymore, so it's not that big of a problem, but still that is one usage of her ability which probably would be better off saved at a later turn or at the boss round or something along those lines. So just a tiny bit, but I do still believe she got a lot out of her EX Plus, and of course her rework now, if you get the plus variant of Beat Rush, that's 180% of her max Brave. That's nearly identical, nearly there, on par with her EX ability at 3 out of 3 with the EX Plus. So if you think about it, it is kind of an insane amount of damage that she's getting out of her rework. Okay, now let's talk about Barret, the man himself, for this lost chapter. We're going to be getting his EX weapon for the first time in the global version of the game, and it's called Enemy Launcher. This will give him the EX ability called Satellite Beam. This is a 15 hit AoE range Brave plus HP attack. Now the Brave hits are dispersed when there are multiple enemies. The Stolen Brave can overflow up to 150% of his max Brave and will deal an HP damage split amongst all enemies, and will grant himself the Satellite buff for 3 turns. This has a slightly slow recast speed, but while the Satellite buff is up, it adds the following beam attacks after every HP attack except during a chase sequence. Now this is a 4-hit range Brave plus HP attack and converts 100% of the HP damage dealt into Brave. Now Satellite also increases the critical hit rate of Barret. At 1 out of 3 limit break, this will slightly raise the Brave damage dealt with Satellite Beam. At 2 out of 3 limit break, this extends the duration of Satellite by 3 turns. And at 3 out of 3, this will slightly raise the recast speed of Satellite Beam. Now before we do go any further, I would just like to let you guys know that the Satellite buff, the beam that follows up for every HP attack, is only happening on Barrett's HP attacks. So just to clarify that a little bit, because it sounds very ambiguous when it says after every HP attack. I have watched a video and it didn't really trigger off when it was used by other characters. Basically after their HP attack, they actually didn't trigger the Satellite buff. Okay, so now let's take a look at the plus version of Enemy Launcher. Of course, this will improve the EX ability Satellite Beam. At 0 out of 3 limit break, this will just increase the Brave potency of his Satellite Beam. At 1 out of 3, this will slightly raise Barrett's max Brave and attack. At 2 out of 3, when the quest starts, he will start off with the Satellite buff, and 2 2 stacks of Avalanche for 6 turns. And at 3 out of 3 when using Satellite Beam, this will tremendously raise its Brave potency once again, and moderately raising its max Brave overflow limit. Now the bonus sphere that you're going to be getting here is break hit boost all along, and basically when breaking a target or attacking a broken target, this will raise the party's max Brave by 5% for 6 turns. Okay, so now let's take a look at Barrett's rework. The first thing that they changed is his sea level 54. It's now going to be called buff speed. Now this will moderately increase his speed while buff. Next is his first ability called Big Shot. This will now have 2 uses. The hit count will raise to 6 Brave attacks. Now the Brave potency will also increase. This will also give it 120% max Brave overflow limit, and it will now trigger an HP attack after use, so there's no threshold or anything like that. It will just use it straight away. Next is his Grenade Bomb, which is his second ability. The hit count will raise to 8 Brave hits now. It will again increase its Brave potency and will have a 150% max Brave overflow limit. And now while Avalanche is active, his HP attack will turn to HP attack plus, which is a range Brave plus HP attack. So after Barrett's rework and of course his EX plus, what do I think of Barret overall? Actually, it's really quite exciting to actually play around if you do get Barrett's EX weapon, because even though he doesn't actually have any HP attack plus versions of his HP attack, he only has the HP attack plus. It's actually not that bad, because if you have the satellite buff at the start, it's basically like having an HP attack plus, because after your HP attack, basically he will pretty much do a 4-hit Brave plus HP attack on top of that. So instead of an HP attack plus, you get like an HP attack plus, which is kind of really exciting. You do need to have it at 2 out of 3 limit break, so you have it at the start of the quest. So the main issue that I have with Barrett's EX is basically because it has a slightly slow recast speed at the start, and it only does get 1 speed increase out of all the limit breaks that you can get. So other than that, I feel like Barret has that longevity with him, more so than others. You may not see it on paper when you're actually just, clicking a HP attack, but if you have that satellite buff, definitely he'll get like an HP attack plus at the very least. So it's actually pretty good, and you actually get some of the Brave back. Actually, you get all the Brave back actually after it does the HP attack. So it's really good. Just a slightly, or I guess slow recast speed is the only thing that I can nitpick out of his EX weapon. Okay guys, so after talking about both of these EX pluses, how much should you invest on these weapons? Now for Tifa, I do recommend starting it off at 2 out of 3 limit break, because this is when you get that Fever Time buff at the start of the quest. When you have Fever Time, you get the plus variants for both your Brave attack and your HP attack. So it's actually really good to start this off at 2 out of 3. And I put for max at 3 out of 3 because, as you guys know, if I start off with a minimum at 2 out of 3, you might as well go 3 out of 3 if you're gonna go with the maximum. And in all honesty, going at that 3 out of 3 is really amazing for Tifa, because now she will do that 3-hit melee Brave plus HP attack before doing a 4-hit melee Brave plus HP attack, then initiate the launch. So it's actually really good, and the stolen Brave can go up to 200%. That's insane. And now you actually get 50% of the HP damage dealt to your Brave, and also delays the target by 1 turn. It's not much, being a 1 turn, but still it's 1 turn nonetheless, and that is going to sometimes save you from a death or something else along those lines. So I honestly feel that minimum 2 out of 3 and max 3 out of 3 for Tifa is the way to go. Now let's talk about Barrett's EX plus weapon. I feel like you have to go minimum at 1 out of 3 here. This is the time where he gets the slightly increase on his max Braven attack, because at 0 out of 3 limit break, you're really not getting much out of him. It's just increasing the Brave potency of Satellite Beam. So in all honesty, getting that extra max Braven attack is probably gonna help you out a little bit more in terms of his overall damage output. I put max here at 2 out of 3 limit break. This is when you actually start off the quest with Satellite, and that is very important. And you get 2 stacks of Avalanche as well, so that's really nice. But Satellite buff is actually the very important buff that Barret has. This gives you access to that beam attacks after every HP attack he does. So very important. I didn't go 3 out of 3 because basically at 3 out of 3 you just get more Brave damage and more overflow limit, and I feel like his overall damage output with 150% max Brave overflow of his EX is kind of enough, and giving you more overflow, maybe if I can remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it's like 180% at 3 out of 3. And yeah, it's more damage, but I feel like 2 out of 3 is kind of enough for Barret. Okay guys, so we're finally at the end of this video. Now I'll give you guys reasons why you should pull for this banner and why you shouldn't be pulling for this banner. Let's start this off with the why you should pull for this banner, and the main thing here is you actually need a DPS. This is a DPS banner, either a melee or a range DPS. Pick one. One of them, you know, is a melee, one's range. Both of them are pretty good. To me, just in my heart, it's still going to be Tifa as number 1. But overall, Barret is actually not a bad DPS as well. Now, the second reason why you should be pulling for this is you need more characters for Dimensions End. And honestly, this is one of the biggest reasons why you should be pulling for pretty much every banner, because sometimes you do need that extra ones. You don't have to pull for on every banner. Every once in a while you do have to do it, because you will run out of characters if if this keeps on updating. And I do believe the plan is for Dimensions End to update every month, 1 floor every month. So at least that's what I'm hearing, and we will be getting the 6th floor this month. So if you need more characters, then hey, you can pull on this banner or wait for another one later on. The next reason is, honestly, this is probably my reason for pulling for this banner, is I'm a huge fan of Tifa. And I don't know who isn't. Maybe you're more of an Aerith fan, and that's okay. But I do like Tifa, and this is probably the reason why I'm going to be pulling on this banner. Okay, so now let's take a look at why you should not be pulling for this banner. Basically, you don't need another DPS. You have quite a ton of DPS already, and you are actually looking for another DPS into the future. So, I mean, there's other DPSs out there that, yeah, everyone's been waiting for, and you know who it is. It is the Emperor. So you want to save your resources for this guy, and well, why not? He is going to be a meta character, and a lot of people are hyped up for Emperor. So I wouldn't really judge you if you do decide to skip on this, because there's a better DPS in the future. And of course, the last one is, if you're not a big fan of these characters at all, if you hate Barret, you might as well not pull for this one if you already have Tifa's EX available for you. So yeah, I'm not too much of a big fan of Barret, to be completely honest, but I am gonna pull for this because I still need Tifa's EX. That's the only reason. I've tried twice and never got it, so there you go. That's gonna be my plan. I'm not gonna go all out. I'll probably do tickets at the short bursts and maybe I'll do some gem pools. Maybe it's still a maybe, but that's my plan for this banner. Anyway, guys, that's it for the end of this video. Well, I guess that's it. That is the end of the video. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, please remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help my little channel to grow for every subscribe button hit. And of course, if you leave a like, it does help with the YouTube algorithm. And leave down in the comments below, are you pulling this for banner? Sorry, are you pulling this banner for Barrett, or are you pulling on this banner because of Tifa? Let me know down in the comments below. God, I can't talk anymore after making so much videos today and editing and recording. That's it. I'm gonna take a break after this video. Anyway, guys, make sure to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook. I am there at Munchkins Gaming, and I'm kind of losing my voice now. If you have any questions or you just want to talk about DFFOO with me, you know, private message me there and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. Anyway, guys, this is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.